I was struck dumb when I pulled those black stockings out. I happened to see Beth Seymour wearing it when I walked into the female washroom during the day. At the time, I was puzzled by the fact that she was wearing ripped black stockings toward the end of her working hours. The youthful Beth blushed with embarrassment and told me she had a date with her mate. This was the way they kept things spicy between them, she said. My darling says he loves it most when I have ripped stockings on. It excites him to the core every time. I'm still young, and I enjoy going along with the way he likes to have fun. Luna Amber, please keep this between us. She couldn't hide the smugness from her face. At that time, I was still wondering why she sounded somewhat provocative. Little would I have known I would find these stockings in Matthew White's suit pocket that night. Even the ripped part of the stockings was at the exact same spot, the thigh area. I knitted my brows together and held back the feeling of disgust within me. I lifted my hand, but before I could even put my hand up to my nose, I caught a whiff of the cheap perfume that was unique to Beth. My blood ran cold, and I froze. What's on your mind, my love? Matthew, who only had a towel around his lower body after taking his shower, pulled me into his warm embrace from behind. Nevertheless, all I could feel was chills down my entire body. The upset look on my face worried him. He placed his hands on my shoulders and turned me around to face him. What happened, babe? Did someone mess with you? Tell me who it was. I did not answer but simply watched his act in silence. Everyone said that I was the one who had control over Alpha Matthew's mood. If I was happy, he would be particularly approachable and delighted. If I was down, he would be frosty and merciless. How the pack's day went depended entirely on my mood. As such, none of the werewolves in the pack dared to look down on me or take advantage of me. I even jokingly told Matthew that I would be committing a great offense if his work in the pack was affected by our relationship. Back then, he held on to me tightly and said coquettishly, "Since you understand how important you are, you should continue staying by my side happily and never leave me." This memory was deeply etched in my mind, so much so that it felt like it was just yesterday. However, this man before me had changed. While holding back the heartache within me, I showed him the black stockings in my palm. As much as I was trying to feign composure, I choked, "This fell out of your pocket. What is this?" Matthew's panic was as clear as day when he saw the black stockings in my palm. Even so, his usual expression came back across his face in just a few seconds. It must have been those darn warriors. Devoid of any diffidence, he continued with a confident expression on his face, "It happened to be April Fool's Day when I met with them for a meal last week. Those drunk dudes put this in my suit pocket intentionally because they wanted to play a prank on me to make you jealous and misunderstand me. After all, everyone knows you're the most important person to me. You are my only weakness, babe." Last week. I would have believed him if I hadn't seen this pair of stockings just today. As I looked him straight in the eye, I scoffed inwardly. All of a sudden, Matthew teared up when he saw how silent I was. With a miserable look on his face, he asked, "Babe, you believe me, don't you? I only like it when your legs are bare. I despise black stockings, so why would I stuff such a thing in my pocket?" While he nuzzled against my neck and planted kisses on me, he explained, "If you have doubts, I will find that warrior who played this prank and get him to come over to apologize to you right now. Then, I will chase him out of the pack. You know how much I loved you all these years. I'll swear on my life, you are the only one I love." When I looked at him lie and swear without any sense of diffidence, I felt my heart fill with sorrow and hopelessness. "All right," I said. I put my hand over the hand he was holding up. "I believe you," I said. Filled with surprise, he threw his arms around me and kissed the top of my head. "I knew it. I knew that you'd believe me, babe. I'll make your favorite dinner for you." As he said that, he put on a casual outfit and trotted happily to the kitchen. Throughout the years of having a mate bond with him, he never made me cook dinner for him, not even once. Prior to sharing a mate bond, he swore to treat me well and never to have me work hard. He claimed that he couldn't bear to have me cook for him and that the maids didn't know my preferences as well as he did. So, he declared that he would cook dinners for me for the rest of his life. However, he forgot that I also made a promise just like he did back then. I said to him, Matthew, if there comes a day when I find out that you lied to me, I swear that I will leave you. I suppose it was time for me to keep my promise. After losing all hope, I decided to break my mate bond with Matthew and leave the Frost Hell pack. I needed a few days to prepare a special farewell gift for him before leaving. After making dinner, Matthew took a glance at me as I pretended to be fast asleep. With a frown on his face, he made an outgoing call. What were your stockings doing in my suit pocket? It was an accident. Did you know that I was almost exposed? Even though he tried his best to lower his voice, I could still hear him clearly as he spoke with Beth on the phone. You're coming over. Didn't I tell you not to contact me after I get home? Let's talk tomorrow. Do not bother Amber and I. What did you say? You're almost here? Matthew peered at me doubtfully, then lifted his head to look out the window. It was pouring outside. He then rushed out of the door. I opened my eyes and walked to the window. Downstairs, Matthew held up an umbrella and chided sternly, Didn't I tell you not to come near my place, let alone show up in front of Amber? However, in the next moment, he noticed that the young woman before him was shivering all over after being drenched by the rain. In an instant, his tone softened significantly. I was worried that you'd get the wrong idea about me, so I wanted to come over and explain things to you. Beth pouted and continued in a miserable voice, I miss you, my love. As she said that, she encircled her arms around Matthew's neck and kissed him. Stop it, Matthew said. Despite refusing her verbally, Matthew had a warm smile on his face and allowed Beth to kiss him. Then, worried that she would be rained on, he even held the umbrella over her for the most part. Beth's white top became see-through after getting drenched by the rain. The garment clung to her skin, accentuating her curves. When she noticed that Matthew wasn't resisting her smooches, she pressed herself right up to him and hooked her leg around his calf. You're such a temptress, he said. Matthew gulped and prompted in a hoarse voice, You need to take a shower. You're going to catch a cold otherwise. I'm feeling really cold right now. Can I use the bathroom at your place? She asked. No, you can't. Matthew's expression was frigid as he firmly turned Beth down. As I've mentioned, Amber cannot find out about us. Listen to me. Wait for me here. I'll take you to a motel. When he turned around to come back indoors and get his car keys, he even came into the bedroom to check on me in particular. A look of panic finally flashed across his face when he saw that I was lying awake on the bed and looking at him. When did you wake up, my love? Did you have a bad dream? He asked. It felt utterly absurd when I saw how much of a hypocrite he was. All of a sudden, I wanted to make his plans fall through. I just woke up. As I smiled at him, my eyes darted toward his dampened clothes. Were you just outside? While pretending to be calm, Matthew answered, Oh, the rain was too heavy, so I went to do a quick check on the garden. Everything is fine. That's good. I did actually have a bad dream, so I was waiting for you to sleep with me. Matthew was taken aback for a moment. After coming back to his senses, he removed his wet clothes and lay on the bed. Putting his arms firmly around me, he said, Sure, babe. I'll hold you in my arms. Let's sleep. While lying in his arms, all I could think of was him and Beth kissing. I had always thought I knew him well, and I had never questioned his feelings. I never knew that he was such a convincing actor. What about now? Was this man holding me in his arms out of his sincere feelings toward me, or was this just an act? After enough time had passed for Matthew to believe that I was already asleep, he sent a text message to Beth. With my eyes open a slit, I managed to catch a peek of his message. It read, I'm tied up. You should just leave. Then, I heard a soft sigh from behind me. I closed my eyes, feeling worn out. I figured I no longer needed to waste any of my time trying to speculate about his true feelings. Right when day broke, Matthew and I were woken up by the warriors from the pack. They reported to Matthew that Beth went wild in the pack after getting drunk. She actually started a strip show in public. When Matthew and I arrived there, the female werewolves around Beth were trying to coax her. Beth, wasn't it just an argument with your boyfriend? You didn't have to drink so much. That's right. Why should you make yourself suffer like that? Those werewolves are jerks. With reddened eyes, the sloppily dressed Beth had stripped down to only revealing lingerie and black stockings under the coat hanging loosely over her. She looked into my eyes before gazing over miserably toward Matthew behind me. "You're right. Those werewolves are jerks." As she said that, she took a huge gulp of alcohol on purpose. The liquid overflowed from the corners of her lips down to her chest, drawing the attention of the werewolves around her. They started to get rowdy. "Beth, that boyfriend of yours isn't a good man. Let me be your boyfriend instead." "Yeah, I will certainly treat you better than that terrible young boyfriend of yours." Even though Matthew did not react in any way, I knew that his entire body had tensed up. He had even clenched his hands into tight fists without realizing it. Beth, on the other hand, was oblivious. When she saw him being frosty, she made a fuss about taking off her lingerie, which caused a frenzy in the room. Finally, Matthew lost his patience. "That's enough. I am not going to allow anyone to do anything that humiliates the Frost Hell Pack." After realizing that he had lost control of his emotions, he turned toward me immediately. "Babe, it's all such a mess here. This mad woman will just be an eyesore to you. Shall I see you off first? Didn't you say that you wanted to go to the hospital? I will pick you up for lunch. I made your favorite sandwich today." I nodded. Upon seeing that, Beth was overwhelmed with envy. She yelled, "That's right. I am a madwoman. I don't need any of you to tell me what to do." While shouting all that, she ran out of the room. "The forest up ahead is beyond the Frost Hell Pack's boundaries. You and the rest should go after her. It'll be bad if she ends up in danger or bumps into any rogues," I said. "Go after her." Having received permission from me, Matthew no longer hid the anxiousness from his face. He gathered the warriors behind him right away, and they darted toward the thick forest. The werewolves chattered among themselves. I never expected Beth to act so wild after going through a breakup. As the Alpha's secretary, she will certainly be punished by Alpha Matthew once the warriors capture her and bring her back. She's young and emotional. When Alpha Matthew last punished her, not only did she get a dressing down for 2 hours, but her eyes were swollen from crying when she came back out. Her knees were all swollen, and she couldn't even walk with a proper gait. It seemed like she had to kneel as part of her punishment. Yeah, Alpha Matthew has always been cold and merciless. Other than being nice toward Luna Amber, he was never friendly toward us. Now that Beth has caused such a commotion right before the Alpha and the Luna, I don't think it's going to end well for her. Was that so? I couldn't help but scoff. While others were distracted, I seized the opportunity to shift, and my wolf secretly went after them in the forest. As expected, Matthew was in a section of the forest after shaking the warriors off. Panting helplessly, he pulled the barely dressed Beth into his arms. "You did all that on purpose to exasperate me, didn't you?" Matthew said as he severed the mind link that he shared with me. The way he did so was so skilled that one could only wonder how many times he had practiced doing that in secret. "Like I told you, Amber woke up from a nightmare last night, so I was tied up and couldn't leave. Don't be mad. Tonight, I'll lie to her saying that I have to be out here continuing the search for you. I'll then spend the entire night with you, okay?" he coaxed. Beth pouted miserably. "I don't need you to spend time with me. Just go and be with your dear Amber. She's more important to you than I am." Matthew stifled a laugh. He pinched her nose and said, "You don't need me. Who do you need, then? Those filthy werewolves who have been drooling all over you." Angrily, Beth punched him in his chest on purpose. She huffed. "You've never even made lunch for me. If you piss me off again, I will eat all the sandwiches you made for Amber. Try to explain yourself then." Matthew's expression fell. He shoved her away from him. "I dare you to say that again. I've told you that Amber cannot find out about us, no matter what. If I hear any rumors going around, I will drive you out of the pack." Upon looking at how stern Matthew was, Beth started quaking in her boots. Carefully and pitifully, she put her arms around his neck. "I was just kidding. Why did you have to make me mad? I'm sorry. I won't do that again next time." Matthew's gaze darkened when he saw how miserable Beth looked. He pressed his hand against the nape of her neck and kissed her. Moans escaped Beth's lips. Frantically, she grabbed at Matthew's clothes and impatiently unbuckled the belt I gave to him. Don't worry. I won't let your dear Luna find out how I pleasure you. Even though this was an outcome I had predicted, I was still unable to stop my tears from falling when I saw them together. They were so desperate to be with one another, so much so that they couldn't even wait to get a room at a motel. All they did was find some random bushes where no one could see them before they started getting intimate so brazenly. After wiping my tears away, I walked toward our home. Having left my farewell gift, I swallowed the red potion that I had bought from the witch at a huge cost. That potion would forcibly sever my mate bond for me. Thereafter, I closed my eyes and waited for the potion to take effect. The witch had told me that my mate bond with Matthew would be severed permanently right after I took the potion. Its effects were irreversible. As a result, I'd suffer from the pain and agony of being corroded by silver. A few minutes later, I could feel pain washing over me as though I was being stabbed by countless needles. My heart throbbed in pain, causing me to spit out a mouthful of blood. It signified the end of my mate bond with Matthew. At the same time, while being intimate with Beth in a bush, Matthew felt an excruciating pain within him.